once you're in poverty and you've been there for any length of time, it's like it's too late.
Hundreds tonight gathering to support Central New York teaching aides who say their salaries are not enough money to live on.
When you bring home $100 a week and you're supposed to live on that, it's very frustrating. And
we all, across all economic classes, are affected by this situation.
I mean, I'm a working poor person, but I am working.
I might be homeless now, today, but you can be homeless tomorrow. The notion of pitying the poor, which is a predominant notion, and it gives a sort of false security when you can say, well, those people over there are poor because some fault or some inertness or ineptness on their own.
That's sort of the dominant hegemonic message, is that if you're poor, it's your fault.
This unspoken perception that people, you know, they're where they deserve to be.
Instead of trying to help people, a lot of times what happens is people, they blame you for your situation instead of, well, let's see, let me talk to you, let me see what's really going on, let me hear your story so I can see if there's something that I can do to help.
For some reason, they didn't do what I've done. I've worked hard. But when you listen to the story of the poor, you begin to see your own situation, that many of these people have done everything right.
My name's Pat Shea, and I live in Ithaca, New York, and have for many years. Right now I'm doing informal daycare. I work 5 days a week usually.
Oh, whoops, you're right.
The pay is, it's pretty minuscule. $90 per week figures out to be, what, about $3 an hour. That's half of what minimum wage is, I think, at this point. I wish I had a safety net. I don't want to be a burden on my daughter. And she, you know, she's like, oh, don't worry about it. You know, in a couple of years things are going to be okay. And, you know, when she's finished with law school, and it was never my intention to be dependent on her or anybody else for that matter.
Alternatives is a special kind of credit union. We're a community development credit union, and that means we are mission-driven, and our mission is to serve the underserved. In 1994, our tellers were talking about not making enough money. We had done all of the compensation surveys. We knew we were paying a comparable wage. But there were still complaints, and we really didn't know whether those complaints were just human nature or really could they not make ends meet. Our mission is to help move people out of poverty, and we didn't want our tellers to be stuck because of our wage scale. We got an intern from Cornell University and got together and started figuring it out. At that time, our tellers had been making $12,000, and we determined that it would take $15,000 to live in Tompkins County. And our board made that plunge. It was not an easy thing to do for us, but I think that the bottom line has to be, if somebody's working full-time, they deserve to earn a living wage.
my name's Anita, and at the credit union I'm a teller 2/5 and I work in collections 3/5. I'm a townie. I've lived here all my life, and I've worked a variety of jobs, cashiering, waitressing, and not one of those jobs paid more than minimum wage. I think I had one. An opportunity came up at Alternatives, and all of a sudden I was, able to stop going to social services, and, I have the ability to go out and shop in the community. I can pay my car insurance in terms of groceries, and just feeling like a worthwhile person, able to support myself and my child has been absolutely amazing. I may have a bad day here or there, but I know that I'm very fortunate to work here.
My name is Sunshine Bannister, and I have two special needs children. One is 21 years old now. The other one is going to be 14 in July. You get tired of telling your children no, and they get tired of hearing it, and then they explode. I mean, especially if you have children that have disabilities like mine. Not everybody that is in poverty wants to be there and is lazy and doesn't want to work. That's a myth that needs to be addressed because there's too many people that believe it and they don't even have the facts to back it up. I was working 2 jobs and I was working double shifts. I mean, I was willing to do just about anything. I mean, you know, it didn't matter what I did, I couldn't get out of. So here I sit in the exact same position as I was since 1980, still trying to get out of poverty, still trying to help other people stand up for their own rights, and it's depressing.
My name is Pete Myers, and I'm an organizer for the Tompkins County Living Wage Coalition. We're trying to get a living wage for all workers in Ithaca and Tompkins County, and all the, as many regionally as much as possible. Most of the people who are affected by a lack of a living wage are people, for example, that are working in retail stores, big boxes, people who work in hotels, small businesses. Those are the people who would be mostly affected. One of our most successful campaigns at this point has been a campaign with the Ithaca paraprofessionals. Paraprofessionals are teachers' aides and teaching assistants in the schools. They were starting at basically like $6.70 an hour, and after a long campaign of 1.5 years, 2 years, now they start making no less than $9.30 an hour.
My name is Debbie Minnick, and I'm president of the Education Support Professionals of Ithaca, which are the teacher aides and teaching assistants in the Ithaca City School District. In the fall of 2000, when we started thinking about how we wanted to negotiate, we knew definitely that we needed to do something different, something drastic. We went to the bargaining table asking for a 73% raise in salary. We knew that public relations was going to be key to this. So we kept up with all the, actions to keep it in the public's eye all the time. In the fall of 2001, we finally had this huge parade. It was called the Parade for Paras. We wanted it to be a family-based activity so that everybody could come and have something to do and enjoy it, and at the same time spread the word about what we were doing. I think the uniqueness of our campaign was that when we started it, we had no idea that it was the first living wage campaign in a public school setting. What we ended up, we settled for a 50% raise in salaries. That's an immediate lifestyle improvement. Once we got that 50% raise, word spread like wildfire, and it really has spread throughout the country in public school settings. Personally, for myself, it was just a wonderful thing to see people that really deserved it get the respect and the dignity they deserve.
I think it's very important that people see what's happening to the segment of the society that's been impoverished and downsized as a mirror of their future situation.
I think we need to talk about how it feels and talk about what it's like and not keep quiet about it.
I think, just like with the civil rights movement, when the voices get loud enough, kind of combined with each other, I think you'll start to see a change.
We have to educate the people that are in poverty that they have a right to stand up for themselves, that it's their duty to themselves as a human being to do that.
The right thing to do for this country to live up to the meaning of its basic creed, provide life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for everyone.